I think during the recording you should just like every chance you get or every highlight we play, you just keep sliding until you're eventually.
I do have a rolling chair to use.
It is the middle of the week, but the quarterfinals of the Ron Newman Cup playoffs are finished, which means it is time for MASL Mondays on a Wednesday, probably when you're watching this. Hello and welcome back once again. My name is Adam Whitaker-Snavely, and I am joined, as usual, by my co-host, Pablo Moore. Pablo, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just bouncing back from that game we just watched, which was absolutely absurd. Otherwise, I'm good. It's late.
It's late, we're recording this directly after the conclusion of Kansas City and the Dallas Sidekicks, and that's where we're going to start, but it is a little bit late for, I mean, those of you who watch on the East Coast will probably know that that game finished a little bit late. We just want to get right in here on the ground floor of the action, so let's talk about Kansas City and Dallas.
Can we should start with Benji Monreal.
We should
immediately.
Yeah, you should absolutely start with Benji Monreal. Benji Monreal did something that I think I have only ever done in FIFA Street. Those delightful collection of video games that sought to make soccer, I don't know, into Tony Hawk Pro Skater is the best way that I can describe them. And that is exactly what Benji Monreal did against the Dallas Sidekicks. Let's just go ahead and roll that clip.
He's got some open space. Over to Lucas Souza. Souza in the corner. Off the boards. Benji shoots!
Oh my goodness!
Oh no, he didn't do it! He did! He just did it! Maybe the goal of the year! You gotta be kidding me! This kid Benji is something special! Comets lead 2-1.
Wallace Scora, top shelf 2, get all those commands ready, and shine the boot for Benji Monreal.
Eric, have you ever seen anything like that before?
Look at this skill. So here's your Wallace Scora. Let's just go.
Oh!
Left behind the back. You talk about players who can shoot with both feet. Check this out. Better angle. Yeehaw!
Oh,
shelf 2.
Oh my gosh! That is just insane.
I love that he's so obviously, that was not done out of necessity. That was pure showboating. There was no need for him to do what I would just call a flying Rabona or something like that.
Yeah, like a flying reverse Rabona, because instead of kind of wrapping the kicking leg around, you wrap what is usually the plant leg instead, and kind of did a flying. I don't know how to describe it. And also the audacity to do it so early into the game, which I might add, Benji Monreal's team lost to send to the extra 15-minute game, which they eventually then won. It would have been a very poor night for Benji Monreal, I think, if Kansas City had not managed to advance to the semifinal round.
Yeah, I don't want to say he's lucky for having scored that, because that requires a tremendous amount of skill, but it would not have been SportsCenter top 10 material had he just completely biffed that. But incredible. Thank you, Benji Monreal, for your service.
No guts, no glory. Thank you, Benji Monreal. You gave us the moment to I guess, perfectly cap off what was an exciting round of quarterfinal matches. Dallas really came into Kansas City after a game in which Kansas City pretty much dominated in Dallas. They came in, I wasn't expecting them to come out as strong as they did, if I'm being completely honest. And I have to shout out in this second game played between Kansas City and Dallas, I have to shout out both Juan Gamboa and Jamie Lovegrove. Obviously, Juan Gamboa popping up with several tremendous saves for Dallas, but Jamie Lovegrove absolutely everywhere in this game. He was in the attack, scored a couple goals. He notched an assist. He almost had a hat trick if it wasn't called the game called for the final buzzer sounding before the ball could roll into the empty net. But also on defense, just constantly chipping in everywhere. I think every single time that I saw Juan Gamboa collect the ball, he was already sprinting upfield trying to get in for a counterattacking opportunity. And for a guy who really in large part helped kickstart Dallas's season when he joined the Sidekicks, and this was something of a magnum opus game from him. Obviously, the extra time game didn't turn out for the Sidekicks, but it was what a game just in general from Jamie Lovegrove.
Yeah, it's so gutting for Gamboa too. It's been such a crucial piece of the Sidekicks all year. Obviously, he's kept them in so many games, and certainly left it all on the field tonight. Although maybe he'll now be rememberized for just getting posterized by Benji Monreal. I don't know. Who could say?
I mean, it's hard to fault him. 35 saves over the course of the 2 games for Juan Gamboa, and you can't fault the man. Sometimes you're going to get scored on like that. I think after your tweet really took off about the goal, I saw Willie B from Harrisburg tweet out, I think if somebody did that to me, I would just have to fight them.
The disrespect, it's like when defenders hack, attacking players down just for dribbling. It's disrespectful. You can't do that to me. It's like I can't imagine how they'd respond if they got flying Kansas City pretzeled or whatever the hell that thing was called. So, anyways,
and that's the other thing. Juan Gamboa is a little on the smaller side compared to Willie B. So I don't know if Benji Monreal tries the same exact thing against Harrisburg, because that might carry some consequences that he is not prepared for. I don't want to get into it with Willie B. That guy is big.
People have been scoring goals like that against Harrisburg all year. Let's just forget it, actually.
I like Lancaster.
Harrisburg State Museum of Pennsylvania is fantastic. It really is. I'm not kidding. Anyways.
My in-laws live half an hour away from Harrisburg, and they're lovely people. So, shouts out to you, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and shouts out to you, Willie B. Rochester, stand up. I'm with you all the time. Let's do it. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. The Kansas City Comets advance to the semifinals over the Dallas Sidekicks. A very, very exciting second game, followed by another super close extra game. You see both teams having to use extra attackers in both games to some good, some not great effects at times. But at the end of the day, Kansas City manages to pull one out, and they are the ones punching their ticket to the semis. Moving on, Pablo, it's Baltimore Blast time. I know that you picked them to beat Chihuahua.
I mean, yeah, maybe not wisely. Also, just to put a bow on that on the Dallas KC series. Also, we could say that review had quite an effect there. Obviously, a goal direct result video review, a goal overturned by video review, and then perhaps most awesome, just a bunch of desperation video review shouts in the extra game. We got scored on, so I'm going to just throw a review flag just to see if maybe there's something in there that'll overturn this. Maybe some banana peel on the field. I don't know.
Just go full Mario Kart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It is a good point that video review did have a pretty direct effect on several big moments in this game. In the game proper, it did seem that the video review was definitely going the way of Dallas, and then when it made it into the extra game, just had a little bit of a shift there, and again, Kansas City just pulls it out.
Yeah, maybe I brought that up because I don't really want to talk about the Blast losing. Obviously, the Blast won 5-4 in the first match. Obviously, Lucas Roque has been such a key player for the Blast all year. 4 goals. Unfortunately, though, things fell apart from there, and probably you can just recap that because I'm a little upset. Yeah, I mean, I picked them to be clear. I picked them because they're typically so good late in the season into the playoffs. They always round into form at the right time. This year maybe they were just a little lacking, and also I picked them just because I'm a homer. So whatever.
Well, hey, it's a league full of homers, and we're all proud of that,
Yeah.
And you can be proud of that. I think that what sticks out to me about this game and this actually both games, both the game in Baltimore and then the game in Mexico, was I thought Chihuahua was going to easily handle the Baltimore Blast. I, not a homer, have been very high on Chihuahua for pretty much the entirety of this show's lifespan. And I thought to myself, Chihuahua, who I think is actually the second best team in the league, is going to beat Baltimore. They're probably going to eke out a win in Baltimore, and then they're going to go to Mexico, and they're just going to crush them there. They're just going to wipe the floor with them. It's home turf. They're going to do that. And I did that partially because I really, really believe in Chihuahua, but also partially because I've seen Baltimore several times this year, despite getting themselves into good spots in games, mental errors, little things, just gifting goals to opponents, and it's really taken them out. And you see when that doubt starts to creep into the team. And I have to say, even though you end up losing the decisive extra game in Chihuahua by a decent margin as you're trying to chase goals, which sometimes that happens and the scoreline doesn't really reflect what that game really looked like in terms of the extra 15-minute game. I didn't see Baltimore hang their heads. I didn't see them get into that position of we have made mistakes and we've given this game away. When they were down at home by a good margin, what do? Lucas Roque steps up, and you have that 4-goal performance. It absolutely propels them into the next game where they fight in Mexico tooth and nail against that Chihuahua side, who is a good team. Obviously, you have people like Carlos Hernandez, who is scoring goals, both decisive goals in Chihuahua, and eventually the Savage do end up taking that victory. But I have to say, I was impressed by Baltimore, and I was impressed by their fight. Obviously, you have Lucas Roque. You have goalkeeper William Vanzella, who is standing on his head in these games. Some really, really good, and I think the performances that I expect from a seasoned team like Baltimore that really impressed me.
Yeah, I mean, they did. You do make a point that especially earlier on in the year, they let a lot of bad teams hang around. You know, they would sort of struggle to finish off games. Even when they did finish off games, it was never done with authority. It was certainly, like, by all accounts, a noble effort, even just to get it to the mini game. I'm sorry, I'm actually been told that we can no longer legally call it a mini game. Apparently it's extra game.
Game.
That bums me out. I think mini game was the NASL terminology, right? So I sort of liked that overlap, but hey, extra game, that works too, you know. Free soccer.
Extra game.
Everybody loves free soccer.
Everybody loves free soccer. Free soccer is great. Pablo, did you have a player of the series between Chihuahua and Baltimore? Any one person that particularly you think was sticking out for you?
I mean, it has to be Vanzella. Obviously, you could also, though, really nominate Lucas Roque single-handedly in the first game, sort of keeping the Blast in it. And then I'm sure there are also players for the team that actually advanced. Nominated, you know, I know we're not offended. It's like handing out consolation prizes at this point, you know, like Lucas Roque, potential series MVP / best neck tattoos. I don't know.
Best neck tattoos.
Yeah. Exactly.
A lot of neck tattoo talk around American soccer. A lot of neck tattoos.
A lot of guys going right to the neck. Like, not even doing the arms or the chest or anything, just going right. I just put a giant eyeball on my Adam's apple or something. It's a choice.
You know, and I support it, frankly. You know, and it feels weird saying here are two clear people that could be the people that are the players of the series, and both of them happen to play for the team that is not advancing. But it also speaks to how spread out the goals and the production was for Chihuahua. For Chihuahua, where they were playing, where the people that were scoring goals, getting assists, it was really, you know, spread out. Obviously, you have Carlos Hernandez scoring those 2 decisive goals, but in large part, it was a very, very, I would say, a very team effort from Chihuahua, as opposed to Baltimore, who clearly had those couple of guys that were standing out in a really, really big way. And I think also this kind of also goes back to much earlier talk that we've had about San Diego, and specifically when we were talking about the most valuable player discussion. It's a little bit harder to stand out when your entire team is at a certain level, and when you have, on the other hand, other teams that might be being carried by the superstar performances of one or two specific players. So that could also come into play about it. I personally also had Lucas Roque for my player of the match, despite the fact that Baltimore is not advancing. I like Chihuahua a lot, but my takeaway from it is I was really impressed with Baltimore.
Yep. Yeah, they're still missing a few pieces, obviously. Curious to see what sort of shape they're in next year. So onward and upward, I guess.
Onward and upward.
Hearing celebrate by Cool and the Gang 600 times a game next year. So anyways, by the way, tonight I did learn apparently the KC Comets were the first team to use Chase by Giorgio Moroder in their arena. Sorry to get off track here, but every single MASL stream I've watched, and I've seen multiple games in person, and they all use this song. And I'm convinced the league owns the rights to the Italo Disco soundtrack classic Chase by Giorgio Moroder.
This is very important to Pablo, who owns several cars that look like set pieces from Knight Rider.
Yeah. There are a lot of things that are very important to me that should not be very important to me or anybody. And I'm happy that I'm being given a platform here to share those things and to, one might say, ram them down people's throats. So,
That's what we're here for, Pablo. Specifically ramming your interests down everybody else's throats.
Okay. Moving
quickly on.
Moving quickly to the next topic.
Let's talk about a pick that I got wrong because, I was looking at the quarterfinals and I said to myself, Adam, you've picked San Diego to advance. You picked Chihuahua to advance. You picked Kansas City. 3 favorites. Let's throw a bone to the underdogs here. Let's see if somebody could really.
Did anybody pick against San Diego? Did anyone pick against San Diego?
Yes, Eric Bergera did. Which I think was more a sense of loyalty to his own playing days than it was a belief that Milwaukee was going to beat San Diego. But
respect.
But yeah, that was a pick that was made. And we have to respect it, and we also respect Eric for filling in for us on the last show that we put out. Thank you very much, Eric and Phil. We appreciate both of you guys very much. Anyways, I said to myself, I need an upset pick. I want an upset pick. I don't want to just pick all the favorites. The St. Louis Ambush, my wild card at all times. Who knows what the St. Louis Ambush is going to do? Florida looked kind of shaky to me on some of their West Coast trips, and I said to myself, maybe St. Louis can do it. Maybe they can pull it out. And at times, in both games between Florida and St. Louis, I thought, you have made a decent pick. And Florida made me look like an idiot both of those times. It happens. It just happens in this game. I was seduced by the attacking prowess and work rate of people like Mo Indii, of William Eske from St. Louis. And I thought that they were really, really going to go out and take it to Florida. And Florida, despite going down, despite surrendering some leads at times, the quality wins out. And there was a moment specifically in the second game, the game in Florida between the Tropics and the Ambush. The Ambush are up a couple of goals, and it seems like, okay, maybe they could play actually for this extra game. We could see another extra game here. And Victor Pereira steps up for a free kick opportunity, and he just absolutely plants one in the top corner like it was a laser-guided missile. And you just got this sense, like it was a statement of, you're not doing this. You're not that guy, pal, to all of St. Louis.
Yeah, it was a statement of you're wrong, Adam. You made the wrong pick.
Yes.
You were seduced by the St. Louis Ambush, which is just an incredible sentence, I think.
A sentence that I could take it to my grave. I was seduced by the St. Louis
Ambush. Who in the
Ambush.
greater St. Louis area has not been seduced by the St. Louis Ambush? Anyways, look, we all get things wrong here. Obviously, I picked inexplicably Baltimore over Chihuahua, so it's fine. But yeah, Victor Pereira's 2 goals, 4 assists in the series. really strung together an exceptional year. Points in every single game this year except for one. Yeah, an entertaining affair, but at the end of the day, you were wrong, and that's really what matters.
I was wrong. And another person that made me wrong was Drew Ruggles, and this insane goal that he pulled out of seemingly nowhere.
Of course, Stefan Mijatovic, who played here in Florida a couple of years ago, been out all year, along with Nascimento in goal. Here's Ruggles, long shot, goal! Out of nothing, out of nowhere, Drew Ruggles from the yellow line with a sensational shot. I mean, he just took a look and said, all right.
Absolutely filthy. Former Rochester Rhino, by the way, Drew Ruggles. Yeah, Ruggle also sounds like 80s child's toy that was like recalled because it was unsafe or something like that.
Well,
fantastic goal though.
Yeah, like the Rhinos and their proper name, Drew Ruggles raged all over that goal. And as we all know, the Rhinos must always be raging. And that's that. Ruggles a person that I've always appreciated in MASL for his defensive presence, obviously just kind of casually stepping up and hammering that one home. Really, really putting an exclamation mark on Florida's victory. I also noted Zach Regat and just kind of had to give it up for him. He had 4 goals, 2 assists. He was my player of the series over the 2 games, and just a guy that if you let off the hook at all in the defensive third, he will make you pay. And he made the St. Louis Ambush play in this series for sure. And final quarterfinal matchup was, I think, and apologies to the Milwaukee Wave, but I think this was the least surprising of all the results in the games. You had San Diego pretty handily beating Milwaukee. They win 9-2 in Milwaukee, follow that up with a 9-3 victory in San Diego. A pretty decent couple of weeks for the San Diego Sockers, as their second team also won MASL 2. And they collected their shield for the most points ever scored in an MASL season. So, it's pretty darn close to a perfect season for San Diego at this point.
Yeah, this is like a foregone conclusion. Sorry, Eric Bergrund, but obviously
Bergrud.
Excuse me. Yeah, this was. I deeply apologize. This one was a bit of a foregone conclusion. I don't even remember last time San Diego lost. I don't anticipate them losing for the rest of the playoffs. I will not be picking against them. Boris Pardo, 30 saves between both games, obviously probably has to be considered the player of the series. Ian Bennett, goal in each of the 2 games, 30 games in a row with a goal.
Yeah.
That's kind of a ridiculous to even read.
Ian Bennett doing, all that he can do basically at all times for the Milwaukee Wave. And, Milwaukee didn't seem outmatched for large portions of that first game in Milwaukee. It seemed like there was going to be a very toe-to-toe attacking game between the 2 sides. But every time it seemed like Milwaukee was coming up with great chances, and it seemed like they were going to score. Boris Pardo, always there. And that one time that Boris Pardo seemed like he wasn't there and he wasn't going to make the save, Zé Roberto, all 40-something years of him, does whatever the hell this is.
Last 5 or 6 seasons. Here's a takeaway here. Steinwasser trying to come 3-2 in the zone. Javi with a shot. Save. Bouncing rebound. And a great clear off the line.
We like to play the goals. But I have to give it up for just the commitment on that defensive play.
Yeah, we like to play the goals, but we also like to play defensive plays that look like goals. Great work. Yeah.
Just good stuff. And obviously congrats to San Diego for all of their success, all their trophies, and we'll see if they can add a further one, because coming up, semifinal matchups, we have San Diego against Chihuahua in what is going to be an interesting matchup. I think I like San Diego there, but I have a soft spot in my heart for Chihuahua, and I know that they can. I know that they can surprise. I know that they can do that. And we also have Florida versus Kansas City. Some times and dates on those are to be announced, but you will be able to catch them on Twitch, where you have been getting your MASL soccer lately. Pablo, picks for the semifinals?
I was going to ask you first, which of the two underdogs here seduces you the most? I sense that you might be about to pick Chihuahua against the Sockers. Am I picking up that correctly? Or
see, I am seduced much more by Chihuahua than I am seduced by Kansas City, who are the underdogs against Florida. I'm sorry to Kansas City fans, but I'm not gonna pick against San Diego Sockers, because
I won't do that. Yeah,
I'm not gonna pick against San Diego. I think San Diego takes it, and I think Florida takes it. Here, I'm going with the favorites. I'm boring.
Yeah. I hate to be boring, but I got to lock those two in as well. Just not seeing anything here that tells me that either of these teams are going to emerge victorious against the Sockers or the Tropics. So, sorry.
There you go. Ultimately, we care about being right way more than we care about being cool or interesting.
Why not both? But okay.
No. It can only be one or the other.
Friends, or ever dating a woman, or leaving the house. Right? No. Yeah.
Oh man. So the quarterfinals are done. The semifinals await, and beyond that, the Ron Newman Cup. But until that time, thank you very much for watching MASL Mondays in the midweek on a Wednesday or a Thursday or whatever you happen to be watching this. Thank you very much, and we will be back next time to break down the semifinal action and preview the finals. So until that time, my name's Adam. This guy's Pablo. Wrong side. This guy's Pablo. I always forget that. You're on my left. When in real life, you're on my right. It's like a mirror.
It's a mirror.
It's a mirror. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't do that.
You've done this before, right? Okay, all right.
Nope, 100% not.
Okay.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.